So I would like to ask about arbitration in particular, which is a huge topic all by itself.
All right.
And in particular, go ahead and ask your question.
Yes. So I mean, we just now talked about the missing fund, the stolen or bad act of the other members. But what if the whole arbitration system, or maybe bulk producer system can go wrong? Like an arbitrator don't understand much about what we are doing and made the wrong rule about something, about system change, about a missing token, for example. He doesn't necessarily know or understand. Our team member asked the International Arbitration Committee, the member of there. It's a very small committee, like hundreds of people, arbitrators at most, and they say they don't understand and don't want to understand that. It's too complicated for those guys.
I've heard
60,
similar things. Yes.
70 years old. Who don't even use emails.
So Grace wrote something up about this. Like, she with you?
Yeah. Grace with
EOSREAL had a long talk with an arbitrator out of Australia, very prestigious, very well regarded arbitrator, professional arbitrator. Not on the chain, just out there in the world. And of course, arbitration's been around for many, many years. There's been arbitration going back thousands of years, and arbitration, as it's currently practiced, has been going on for decades. So it's a very well established set of rules and systems.
Right.
And when she talked to this guy, he said, well, I don't know what you're talking about. What is it? Block what? Blockchain? What?
What the EOS?
What? And do you really want a guy like that trying to pass a judgment on something that's technical that he doesn't even begin to understand?
And he got a golden sword.
And he's got power.
Yeah.
He could make a good faith mistake based in his the lack of understanding. And the next thing you know, the block producers are doing what he said.
Yeah.
And you and I are looking at it going, that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do you do about that? So first off, we believe that arbitrators are going to be members of our community. They're going to know at least something about blockchain. That's crucial. Secondly, arbitration as an activity always allows for expert witnesses, including the arbitrator finding his own experts or her own experts.
Right.
And I highly, highly recommend that. Third point is you choose your arbitration forum. So when you write a distributed application, in the code, in the Ricardian contract, you will write, disputes arising from this contract will be resolved in thus and such a forum. And I highly recommend, if you have a technical area, let's say it's international logistics, luxury goods, which is one of the use cases, or is healthcare, right? Or something. You might be very wise for you to come up, literally create, you and your competitors and your customers, create an arbitration forum specific for your industry, full of people who understand your issues. If it's CryptoKitties, they should understand CryptoKitties, okay? If it's World of Warcraft, they should understand World of Warcraft. And have an arbitration forum composed of people who know the industry you're in. And that's your other line of defense. So number one, arbitrators can ask for expert witnesses, and they can hire experts to help them, and they should. No arbitrator should ever issue an order on an issue they don't understand.
Right.
And the training that we're putting in place emphasizes that. Number two, you will have to agree, you and your counterparty in the contract, agree who your forum is going to be. So you should be picking an arbitration forum full of people who don't know your stuff.
Yeah, actually, EOSREAL is trying to create an arbitration forum.
What?
Yeah, for financial service industry. Yeah,
cool.
Someone like us. Well, I've been on the arbitration for 3 times.
Okay.
Not for my company, but for our business partners.
Yeah.
One in Singapore for 2 companies between 2 companies arbitrating on the internet advertising space.
Cool.
One in Beijing.
Yeah.
2 companies is arbitrating something else. So yeah, we understand. There are multiple, even in the real world.
Yeah.
Like in U.S. financial sector, we choose New York. in Asia region, although we are coming from Singapore, but we choose Hong Kong.
Right.
So there will be many arbitration forums, like Mr. Cox was saying, on this planet. Hopefully they are working solely for EOS, but why not working for the whole blockchain community?
Sure.
Because the people specialize in different topics are not that much, are not that many. So there are hopefully someone like us who can bridge the blockchain world to the real arbitration world nicely. So those old guys can understand what we are doing, and help us to ruling.
Right. Now, and so you heard all that. I want to add two other things. One is arbitrators will make mistakes from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are going to be building in our default arbitration forum, the one that you get if you don't specify a different one, a standard that says that when you're arbitrating, let's say I'm picked to be an arbitrator. I shouldn't be. So let's because I know too much and I'm too involved in other things. Let's say I'm an arbitrator. The standard will be that I will have a second arbitrator who is my wingman, who helps kind of look at what's going on, and somebody I can talk to and share my thinking with, who can check my thinking and check my ruling and offer me, ask me questions. So it's not just one person who can sometimes get confused. There's two sets of eyeballs. That's a good standard. It's used in a lot of places. And so there's that. Even then, you might get a bad ruling. And because arbitration has to be final, it shouldn't be subject to appeal and appeal of the appeal and appeal of the appeal of the appeal. You want finality. So there's really only two major ways to get an arbitration order overturned. First is gross incompetence on the part of the arbitrator. If you can convince the other arbitrators in the forum that just read it. When you read it, you can see this guy must be suffering from dementia. This makes no sense. And if that happens, if the ruling really is just obviously wrong, it can be overturned. And the other appeal is an undisclosed conflict. Let's say that there's a dispute going on, and I find out after I lose that my arbitrator is sleeping with the other person that I had a dispute with, and they're lovers, but they didn't tell anybody that they're having a fling together. I'm like, wait a second, that's not justice. And so a hidden conflict of interest that wasn't disclosed is crucial, which is why, by the way, in arbitration, early on, you go to the forum assigns you an arbitrator, and you and your conflict partner both look at that arbitrator, and you can raise objections and say, I don't think this person is the right arbitrator. There's a conflict of interest because this arbitrator's husband owns shares in my opponent's company, and therefore there's a financial conflict of interest there. And the arbitrator might notice it before you and say, I can't be the arbitrator because my husband owns these shares.
All right.
And so you've got this chance to raise the objection about conflicts. But if the conflict's hidden and it comes up later and you lost, you could totally use that for an appeal. One of the only ways you can appeal.
I want to add one sentence on that.
Yeah.
So there is a third way. If the arbitrator does not act in a fair way, people will move from that forum to the other.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the forum, remember, there's lots of forums available.
Yeah, the arbitrators, will lose their job in the long run. If
you
they
might lose the case, but you might lose the business.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, they have a very strong incentive to work very fairly.
Right.
And to be seen being fair.
Right, you're right.